Yo, guys, what's going on? Welcome back to another round of LBL, round 13. We're here at Belgium. All the players, Belgium, all the players are just getting ready. We just got done with qualifying. Danny on pole, as always, no shock there. So that's kind of the norm nowadays. It's kind of getting boring, I won't lie. I've actually had a couple of requests from some viewers to see the points before we actually get into the race. So here they are on the screen. As you can see, this is the drivers. Last race out, Danny extended his championship lead by winning. Grimes only managed third in Hungary. He had a poor start after getting some wing damage and had to pit very early, get that wing change. Here he is in second. We've got Drake's in third, Nico fourth, Scott, and then, kind of like the mid-table with Cam and Alfie, our darling, 39 points. He has three fifth-place finishes. We've got some reserves in here as well. It's a bit of a mess. It does need sorting out properly. The Ferraris as well, of Delirious and JD in 6th and 7th respectively. Then we've got the constructors as well. 4 race wins, not as much as Alpine, but Mercedes are running away with the constructors. With all, look at that Alfa Romeo at the bottom. Not the cleverest there. But that's just kind of a mini standing update as we are about to get into the race now. We have all the drivers ready, hopefully, fingers crossed, if it doesn't bug out like it always does. Look, you can see I'm on the grid there. You can see the marshals. They're ready to record some live LBL action. I'm ready to commentate over it. The pit crew, look at them, all the chief engineers, all that bollocks, they're all going mental whilst we're waiting for no apparent reason whatsoever. But yeah, so now I'm just going to start chatting absolute waffle to fill the void until we restart. Oh, look, another timer. Lovely. Can we just please, can we get it going? What is going on? This happens every time, right? So like, I'll start talking now, but then another timer will come in, so I have to restart. And it's just so frustrating, especially when you're trying to actually like commentate on something, and then you hear not really saying much. But hopefully, fingers crossed, this will be the start this time. Just waiting on Jack now. It is the start. We got Danny on pole with Grimes just behind him. It's 5 lights. It's lights out and away we go. Danny getting a crazy start off the get-go. Scott's going to go up the inside of Lawson. It's currently an Alpine 1-2. Is there some action in the back there? Absolute carnage at turn 1 at La Source, as it's an early getaway for the Alpines. And then Grimes in third, Nico in fourth, Drake's in fifth as we're all going up Eau Rouge now. Side-by-side action, cutting corners left, right and centre. JD in sixth, Cam seventh, Delirious 8th, battling it out with the house of Jake Pig and his teammate Obolf. They're going 3 abreast nearly into the corner. I don't know what it's called. Oh no! Jake Pig's been binned at the corner. We knew it was going to happen. It was always going to happen. And Alfie has gone as well. Both of the Haas's have binned it. There's a yellow flag in Sector 2. This has just been a biblical start already. So lovely 1-2 for the Alpine boys so far, with Grimes chasing very closely behind. The Alpine boys, like I showed you before, they are second in the constructors, but this is exactly where they'd want to be. A nice 1-2 for them. We have made it halfway through the first lap without a safety car. I am amazed. Oh, am I eating my words? Am I eating my words? There's a double yellow flag in Sector 2 and 3. Never mind. I'm not that much of a jinx. Yet, anyway. Currently, the order. We've got some people going all over the shop. Jack started in 7th, dropped to 15th. Whereas, you can just see there on the left-hand side of the screen, half of the people have basically just swapped places with the other half. On to lap 2 now. It's half a race. Obviously, you guys know by now it's always a 50% race. We do the qualifying off the recording on my Twitch channel live, where you can come and watch it. Twitch.tv/Lawton Lad. All that good stuff. All the plugs. Shameless plugs. Biblical plugs. Lap 2. Danny in first with his teammate Scott in second. Grimes chasing very closely behind. I think after a bit of carnage at turn 1, there's obviously been a bit of a gap built up with Nico in 4th, kind of in no man's land, doing his own thing. He's got, a 2.5 second gap to 3rd, and then, nearly a 2 second gap to 5th there. The 2 prancing horses, forever reliable for some decent points. JD in 5th and his teammate Delirious in 6th. As we have a yellow flag in Sector 1, Andy gained 5 positions off of that start there. That's amazing for him. Same with Young Demon and King Joel. They both in 8th and 9th respectively. Both gained 6 positions, as that is not the way that King Joel would want to be taking poo on. Ben Taylor as well, coming from the back of the grid, now in the points paying positions. Williams, they haven't been very consistent. They've had some very good finishes this year, but at the same time, they're just as poor. It's there's no in between. It's one extreme to the next. Jack in 11th. Alfie, he was last, and now he's made a few positions up into 12th now. Our darling, our sweetheart. We want him to get as many points as possible. Drake's the biggest loser, in my opinion, as Grimes sets the fastest lap just after Danny there. So the early pace is Grimes. He's the man to match right now. As I was saying, his teammate Drake's, he must easily the biggest loser. He qualified 5th. Wasn't his greatest performance in qualifying. He was up by 6 tenths on his lap, and then in the last sector, I think maybe through Blanchimon or the bus stop chicane, he must have just had a poor exit. So he wasn't able to improve on his time. Double yellow flags yet again. But yeah, that is Drake's in 13th. Jason Davies, the redemption man, in 14th. Cam in 15th. This does not be where he would want to be. Qualied in 9th. But yeah, out of the points. I think there was just a big turn of events at turn 1. There always is on this track, especially in this league as well. That you can never go a full lap without contact anywhere. Double yellow flags yet again, but just behind Cam. Well, I would say just behind. I mean, in the placement is his teammate Bames. As Cam's actually just made a move on Jason, going down the Kemmel straight now. It is already DRS time. Lovely stuff there from Cam. And then Jake in the pits in last, maybe a bit of wing damage. He's put the hards on. I'm going to try to go to the end on these tyres. Yeah, he's got the he's got wing damage. He hasn't got a wing. But yeah, anyway, still at the front, the 3 leaders, all very closely matched in pace. Danny did get overtaken by Scott. I did miss that, with Grimes now in 3rd. I'd love to see Scott take home a race win. I think Scott would as well. He had 2 races with Grimes where he was leading the race, and due to safety cars and weather changes, pit stop predictions and strategies, Grimes just got the better of Scott both times, so he did have to settle for 2nd, but he would definitely love to take a race win home under his belt. Yeah, definitely, especially with the points, how far Alpine are behind Mercedes. Mercedes have just been so consistent, so reliable, scoring high points. I think this is perfect for the Alpines. They would love to get some points back, as Danny, using the DRS, able to get the overtake done. Grimes wasn't quite close enough there to also make a move on Scott. So I do think there's going to be a bit of chopping and changing around here at the front. If these are this close, they're so evenly matched on pace, they're just going to be trading places back and forth constantly. I think it might actually come down to tyre strategies and all that, as Scott getting very close to the wall there. Further down, Nico, like I was saying before, just minding his own business, doing his own thing. He does have JD and Delirious trying to chase him down. Delirious goes, JD, does go a little bit wide there through Puon. It becomes a little bit tame now. The first few races, it was just chaos the entire race, but now, after the first couple of laps, everybody just calms down. Everybody just, they get into their rhythm, they do their own thing, and it's just flowing. I mean, don't get me wrong. If you told me there would not be a safety car in this race, I would laugh straight at you. But who knows? You never know what could happen in this biblical league. You do never know. Delirious and JD. There was actually a little bit of a confrontation in the team garage just before Belgium. Delirious was mocking JD's tyre management, and JD didn't fancy it. As we have a yellow flag in Sector 3, as Nico is in the wall, just had to reset. What has happened there? What has just happened to Nico? He's just lost out 2 positions, make that 3 to the Ferraris and now the Red Bull. I think on the exit of the bus stop chicane, he must have just overclocked it or something. I'm not quite sure, but let's stay on board with Nico, see if he can get that position back off of Andy. He will have DRS here now. Oh, I love this corner, so fast flowing, 185 mile an hour. Side by side with Andy, obviously on the faster tyres as well. Opens up the letterbox. See you later. Thank you very much. Good night. Andy there would have definitely preferred to have capitalised on that, but unfortunately he overtook him at the wrong time. There's, Nico gets the DRS back. That's just what's going to happen. Further down, Jack as well, getting into it with Demon. We don't see much of Demon these days. He's normally in the bottom few. Never really racing for points. I don't think he's actually ever scored a point. Oh, speaking of Demon, he has just put it in the wall. Has he damaged his front wing? Oh, he's got away very lucky there. I don't think he has any damage whatsoever. You are a lucky bunny. But he isn't racing with Jack anymore. I say that much. He's now actually potentially going to be under pressure by King Joel, who is still in 10th from the start. He did get up into the points. There must have been a lot of collisions at the start of the race because you can just see everybody's all over the gaff. Yellow flag in sector 3 and Nico is DNF'd. Why is Nico DNF'd? He's got 2 tyres missing. What has happened to Nico? It's gone from bad to worse for Nico. I don't believe it there. He's just gone. What has happened to Nico? I think he might have just got on the curb on the exit here. Look at that. He's only got half a car. Looks like he's been in a trash compactor. That is Nico out of the race. And I tell you what, it has not caused a safety car, but with both of the Ferraris in 4th and 5th, this could really close up the Constructors' Championship for 3rd between McLaren and the Ferraris. If the standings stay as they are today, it could be within a couple of points, I think. What with Nico also not having a teammate today, through no fault of his own. But, that's racing. The Ferraris, I think, are going to capitalise on this as well. If they stay where they are, this is 22 points they can gain on the McLaren. Crazy stuff. As we missed it yet again up front, Danny overtook Scott, and he's built up a little bit of a lead. He's not out of DRS just yet, but he's certainly getting towards that. I'm not quite sure what happened. Oh, a little bit. Getting on the curb there from Scott. It's now going to invite Grimes to go down the inside of Scott. Forever we do see Scott make mistakes like these, small costly mistakes, which do ultimately end up in him losing a position. Danny is now out of DRS, but with Scott in 3rd, Grimes in 2nd. Let's stay on board with Scott here for a little bit. He is going to have a double DRS shoot on Grimes. He always does it. Every single time. A little mistake and that's it. It costs him dearly. But let's see what he can do now. Like I said, he is going to have double DRS now. He's just about within DRS. As Grimes actually got a lot closer to Danny than I would have assumed. He isn't going to get DRS on Danny. But I just think, is this close enough for Scott to make a stab down the inside potentially? He will have DRS. He will open up the letterbox. Not using the ERS just yet. Maybe trying to conserve it a little bit. He's getting closer and closer. He isn't going to be able to make a move towards the end of the Kemmel Straight. So Grimes, having overtaken Scott after that little mistake, taking advantage of it, Scott is not able to get back that position. So yet again, like always, the front 2 runners are Danny and Grimes. There's a little bit of team radio from the McLaren saying we need to be better. We'll have to have a look at that after the race. I didn't quite catch it. All we saw was the aftermath of half a car. There's a yellow flag in sector 2. Like I said, we are a third of the way through this race without a safety car. It's double yellow flags now in sector 2 and 3. If we go a whole race without a safety car, I don't think I'm commentating the correct race, the correct league. That is not right. As we have Bames facing the wrong way there on the track. Must have just spun it. Very unlucky there as he's already been lapped by the front runners. Meanwhile, up front, let's get on with Grimes. He's going to be within DRS of Danny. I think perhaps his time management's just been a little bit better. He's been able to close the gap a lot easier. Tiny bit of oversteer there as Danny's teammate Scott is going to go into the pits now. So chuck on a set of mediums and go to the end on those. Yeah, I think Grimes' time management has just been a little bit better than Danny's, which has allowed him to capitalise and get just behind Danny as we have a DNF from Alfie, and that does bring out our first safety car. Our darling, our sweetheart has DNF'd. No points for Alfie today. Very unfortunate. I think this safety car could not have come at a better time for Danny. Grimes was definitely the faster driver. He did have DRS, and to be honest, I would have put my money on him overtaking Danny there. That is our second DNF of the race. A little bit of team radio there. I think there might have been some contact with the Williams as Alfie is not happy whatsoever with the Williams. We will have to have a look at that after the race. King Joel, forever someone to be in the middle of contact. Although he had been behaving recently. He does hold the record in the LBL for the longest penalty given, which was a 3 to 5 working day penalty. He is currently in 8th, but we shall see after the race. We have a very unhappy Alfie because of that. But like I was saying before, Danny's in first. He got very lucky with that safety car there. Grimes in second. I think they're both going to come in for some tyres. I would if I were them, you know. It's the perfect time to do that. JD in third. That is mainly because Scott did pit, but still, he is in third, which is awesome. I think Delirious also came in and pitted. He did. He put on the medium wall there. So a very mixed bag of people. We do obviously have the usuals at the front there, but this is looking like a tasty race so far. 8 laps in, Danny is coming into the pits, as is Grimes. Drake's in 10th, got himself up into the points. He had... I didn't really see off the start. Obviously, I was on Grimes' POV as he got overtaken by Scott at turn 1 at the start, but I didn't see it. Yeah, everybody's going to start piling into the pits now, unless obviously they already have pitted. But to be honest, 8 laps on the first safety car, like without a safety car, 8 laps. That amazed me. In all honesty, it really did. I was very surprised with the standard that this league has. I was mesmerised. To be honest, when I saw the first DNF, I was thinking, oh, never mind. What has happened there, Scott? Needs to warm these tyres up ASAP. All over the gaff. Yeah, when I saw turn 1 with all the carnage, I definitely was thinking safety car. And then also with Nico's DNF, I was also thinking safety car. But both times, there wasn't one either time. So, also, Grimes is using the AI during the safety car, which is prohibited. So, unless he hurries up, that's a 5-second penalty for Grimes there. Alright. If there is no excuse for that, he will be receiving a 5-second penalty. We made a rule where we don't use AI under the safety car. Further back. Scott also using the AI as well. That could be a 5-second penalty for him. As a matter of fact, it's going to be a 5-second penalty for the pair of them at this point. Yet again, it's really not hard. Who else is using the AI? Well, we can't really tell at the moment. But unless they have a very good reason, Grimes and Scott will both be picking up a 5-second penalty. Those were the rules I made, and I'm not being lenient on them anymore. There's a certain exception where if you want to record something that's just happened or whatnot, or within the last couple of minutes, but other than that, you should not be going on AI mode. It causes unfair penalties to other drivers. Lap 9, still only the first safety car of the race. It does amaze me. Currently Danny in first, Grimes in second, Danny's teammate Scott in third. The two prancing horses, JD and Delirious, 4th and 5th respectively. Andy Gatehouse in 6th. He's forever a merchant for 6th, although he has come out at the worst time as Bames is in the middle of Delirious and Andy. I think just in front there, we have a lot of weaving around. Jack in 7th, just behind Andy. Andy opting to use the hard wool tyres to go to the end of the race. Perhaps maybe thinks, the mediums won't get him there. Same with Young Demon. Drake's, however, in 9th. Must have obviously got a pit stop overtake during the safety car. He is on the medium wall. I think the safety car will come in at the end of this lap. It's already been out for a couple of laps now. Ben in 10th. It seems that the Williams have switched spaces. I think the entirety of this race there has been a Williams in P10. Cam in 11th, also on the hard tyres. King Joel, 12th. Jason, Mr. Redemption Man. And if King Joel's problems couldn't get any worse, well, he's now using the AI, so that will be a penalty for him as well. So far, 3 penalties to be dishing out. Jake in 14th, and then Bames in the middle of Delirious and Andy Gatehouse there. I think they realised I wasn't joking because they're no longer using the AI. It's really not hard, it's simple. Just the thing I always hate about the safety cars, it's just boring. You just sit there, people are warming up their tyres, it's safety car simulator at this point. Just sat there warming up their tyres, playing a little bit of mind games with one another, messing around. But the safety car should come in this lap. Going through Pouhon at 100 miles an hour, enthralling stuff. I'm a bit upset about how Bames is in the middle of the two cars there. Very annoying. But, that's what happens as he's on very poor connection. Must be at McDonald's Wi-Fi. Who knows? Nearly halfway through this race. The safety car is in this lap. Danny, the race leader, warming up them tyres as much as possible. Just to confirm it, I am going to be placing these penalties on these 3 drivers for using the AI underneath the safety car. Grimes, Scott, and King Joel will all receive a 5-second time penalty for using the AI underneath the safety car. But anyway, that doesn't matter right now, as we have Danny getting on the restart there, up into the bus stop chicane. Never mind, King Joel gets another penalty anyway. To be honest, I might just kill him from the race. As from the restart, Grimes is going to go around the outside of Danny into turn 1, into La Source, unable to get the move done. This allows Scott to get a good exit onto the back of Grimes there. What's going to happen now? Everybody's going to have full ERS. Everybody's going to be charging non-stop now. Ooh, tiny corner cut there from Scott. He'll have to behave unless he wants to be picking up a penalty. Danny still in first with Grimes trying to pull alongside, but because of the evenly matched pace, that he's just not going to be able to get the move done unless it's under braking. He doesn't. He has to back out there. Danny closes the door off for the dive down the inside. Still stays in first with Grimes in second off the restart. Danny's teammate Scott in third. He'll want to get that position back off of Grimes that he lost earlier on due to the mistake. The 2 Ferraris, the prancing horses, now a little bit closer to the front of the pack. They would have loved this. They were chasing down the McLaren and Eco earlier on as King Joel has got another penalty yet again. This is just biblical stuff. Going wide at Pouhon is JD with his teammate Delirious just behind him. Jack FC in 6th. Andy Gatehouse in 7th. Ace Drakes in 8th as Young Demon King's falling down the order the entire way. There's a yellow flag in Sector 2. Drake's doing very well now. Back up into 8th. He's still down 3 positions from where he started, but he's a lot better than before. Cam in 9th with Ben Taylor just behind him in 10th. Honestly, at this point, I think it's going to become a race ban for King Joel. It is becoming a bit too biblical for my liking. Even from our standards, it is becoming a bit too biblical. Yeah, Ben Taylor in 10th. His teammate King Dickhead in 11th. Jason Davies, the redemption man, in 12th. He's only 9 positions away from a podium. Yeah, we won't go on about that. Jake Pig in 13th, the only Haas runner so far. Unfortunately, our darling, our sweetheart Alfie, he did DNF earlier on due to maybe a little bit of controversy due to King Joel. As speaking of which, has just made an overtake on Jason on the exit of turn 1 there. Young Demon in 14th after a little bit of contact. Not quite sure what happened with him, but I don't know. He just binned it, I suppose. Fuck it, who cares? He's binned it. And Baines in last. Currently, I think he might be ghosted. Might have DC'd. I'm not too sure. Oh no, he's definitely here. Getting on the curb there as he's trying to unlap himself from half of these races. Andy Gatehouse, as you can see there, just in front, trying to keep the pressure on Drakes. He would love to get that position back after Drakes just overtook Andy. But anyway, back up front, we have Danny, 4 attempts in front of Grimes. We're on lap 12 now. They have both left Scott. But like I said before, Grimes and Scott do both have a 5-second penalty, as does King Joel, for using the AI underneath the safety car. I've said it countless times. It can't be used. I don't care if you're texting the missus. I don't care if you're running the bath. I don't care if you just eat orders outside the house and he's waiting for you because he's got another 5 orders to go and get in the town. I don't care. Those are the rules. You have to plan for these. And unfortunately, rules are there to be implemented. Also, King Joel will receive another 5-second penalty. But at this point, I might just give him a 46-year decade pension plan penalty at this point. DRS has been re-enabled after the restart. Still Danny in first with Grimes very close behind him. A little bit more ERS to work with as well. He's going to have a great run up over Rouge here with the DRS as well. Let's see how he does. Danny did get a bit of a better exit out of La Source. Up over Rouge, they both go now. Scott, I don't think he's going to have DRS, but here we go now. Onto the Camel Straight. The letterbox is open by Grimes. He is closing in. Opens up the DRS and uses the ERS. Does get in front of Danny. Manages to keep the position as well. No silly mistakes on the exit there of that death trap of a corner. You touch it, it's like you're licking wax. You will go for a spin. Good overtake there from Grimes. Very nice and tidy. But still, like I said before, it is still technical P1 for Danny. Grimes is in the lead of the race so far, with Scott chasing down his teammate and obviously the race leader at the same time. But I think Danny and Grimes, they're just a little bit higher on the pace for the race anyway. Still, the 2 Ferraris of JD and Delirious in 4th and 5th, not respectively this time. They have switched positions. I didn't see this. Maybe perhaps Delirious was going a little bit faster and JD said, you know what, go for it. Let's see what you can do. Let's see if you can catch the other boys down. And then maybe at the end of the race, they might do a switch back just in case. Drake's in 6th. Did get the move to stay when he overtook Andy. He's only down 1 position from where he started after that poor start as well. He was at the very back of the grid. He did very good this recovery drive. You know, we still do have 9 laps left as we're going on to lap 14 now. As Grimes sets the fastest lap of the race. But here we are now. On the exit of La Source, Danny will have the DRS run. This is what I fear it's going to be. I think this is just where it's going to come down to on the last lap. Who's going to finish in front of who? You know, at the end of the DRS straight. Because just with the pace boost, you know, you will just overtake here. You know, like just as Grimes did last lap, Danny opens up the letterbox, overtakes Grimes. Thank you very much. See you later. Jobs are good, and you know I think that's just going to be what will happen unless you know one of them does make a mistake, or you know the other person is just faster and can build up that gap of 1 second before the next round of DRS. Scott has been trying to keep on the back end of Grimes and Danny. You know, they will battle, but it won't slow them down that much because, you know, like I said, they're so evenly matched on pace. They're not going to be slowing each other down at all. And, you know, they only overtake each other on the straights. So they're not really losing that much pace. You know, Scott wants these 2 boys to be, you know, wheel to wheel. But ultimately, it won't really matter as much because out of these 3, Danny is the only one who doesn't have a penalty. You can't see it on your screen. It's because it's an implemented penalty that we have for using the AI under the safety car. It causes too many incidents. we don't want to do it anymore. So that is the only way to counteract it. Danny, towards the back end of the lap, did build up a 6/10 lead, but he has a lot less ERS to work with than Grimes. Grimes is going to have a double DRS shot again once more. Here we go into the bus stop chicane on the end of lap 14. There's a yellow flag in sector 3 as the other half of Jake Pigg has DNF'd. Will this bring out a second safety car as Danny goes even faster now, setting the fastest lap of the race? Will there be a second safety car? I'm not too sure. I don't think there will be. I think it's just going to be a yellow flag in sector 3 for now. We still have 8 laps to go. If you include lap 15. The running is Danny in first, but we're going down the Kemmel straight like I was saying before. Danny's going to take to the inside here. Grimes, yet again, opens up the letterbox. Danny's going to get back in the slipstream for the rest of the lap. I feel like this is whoever is in second on the start of lap 22, I feel will win this race if this is how it goes. You know, they're not slowing each other down. They're just essentially slingshotting each other throughout the race, and they're just building up even more of a gap. So, yeah, it's currently a 2-3 for the Alpine boys. A 4-5 for the Ferraris. JD closing in on the back of Delirious. I don't think they did swap positions. I think maybe Delirious just got an overtake as there's a double yellow flag in sector 1 and 2. Drake's only a couple seconds down the road from the Ferraris. He would love to get close to them, overtake both of them. I don't think he's anywhere near being able to get a podium here today. Obviously, if obviously there's a safety car or a mistake from one of the boys up front, including the penalties, you never know what can happen. You do never know. Andy's still in 7th as Bames is ghosted there, lap down. It's been a bit of a shambles for the AlphaTauri just in front of him there. Yellow flag in sector 2. Not quite sure why. And sector 3 as well. Now Cam in 8th. Good few points here for him today if he is able to finish where he is now. The things with drivers like Andy and Cam and King Joel, Jack FC, sometimes even Alfie as well. They get the smaller end of the points, but they do build up. There is a tally of them eventually, and if it's consistent, that's what you want. You want consistency, just as long as you're not consistently shit. Well, that's the wrong type of consistency. Just like King Joel because he's a dickhead. But Ben Taylor as well. He stepped in for Catnip King today, actually known as Noel King. He's currently away on a holiday, so he wasn't able to. But Ben Taylor, very clean racer. He's often in the open lobbies that we do. If you do want to get involved in them, twitch.tv/LawtonLad. I stream them Monday, apart from Tuesdays. Then Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Excuse me. Losing my voice, non-stop talking. Benny's very, very clean driver. I'd love to have him in the league. No problems from me here. I'd quite like to see him score a few points. You know what I mean? It's quite annoying when the cleaner drivers they don't get rewarded with points. But that is sometimes what it is we have Jack trying to make a move there just before No Name corner, unable to do so. But that was a poor exit from Ben. Now, tiny bit of contact there. Jack is gonna open up. Fuck's sake! As I go off I got the wrong way. Sorry, you just completely missed that overtake. I went the wrong way. But through Poo on. He opens up the ERS. None to work with now, so he's going to have to charge for a bit, surely, if he wants any more pace boost. So we have a yellow flag in Sector 2 there. King Joel going slow. No one gives a shit about him, though. That's a double overtake from Jack and Ben on King Joel as Jack's now into the points. Ben now being chased by his teammate. Let's see what ludicrous stuff happens here as King Joel goes onto the grass to overtake Ben. This man's a menace. He can't be stopped. He's all over the place. Look at him. Ben's going to come into the pits. Perhaps a little bit of wing damage. Not quite sure. Up front, though, Grimes was able to overtake Danny, and I think has built up enough of a gap. But like I was saying before, there was a penalty given to Grimes and Scott as well. As the Ferraris are now getting into it. This is some lovely action. I think the team principal has said, go on, boys, have a bit of fun. as they're getting into it with one another. But whilst they are slowing each other down, Drake's is right there behind the pair of them, hunting them down. He is going to have 5 laps to do something about it. Through Poo on now. He slows down a bit more than what I would have normally taken that corner at, but tomato. Another yellow flag. You know, it always scares me whenever I see a yellow flag. I look at the standings, see if anybody's names has been greyed out, and if it hasn't, well then you could still get a safety car without a DNF. It happens. It does happen. As Grimes still in first. That is it's quite annoying that it hasn't switched there for me. Danny just out of DRS there as he goes a little bit of oversteer. Grimes much better exit there, so I don't know if Danny is going to have the pace to re-overtake Grimes. Grimes working with a little bit more ERS than Danny. Yellow flag in Sector 2. And Sector 3 as well. Like I said, I get heart palpitations every time I see it. We have 4.5 laps left of this race. Grimes is leading, but like I said, it is still Danny in P1 with the penalty that he got for using the AI. I'm sorry, it's the way it is. Things will never change. Scott in third. Yeah, he has well and truly lost the back end of Danny and Grimes. The two Ferraris, I think they decided what was best for business was to not keep battling, as now, due to that, Grimes' teammate, Drake's is getting involved with it. A lovely little bit of racing there. Wheel-to-wheel action with Delirious. Delirious manages to hold on. Even with DRS, Delirious was getting under pressure by Drake's there. I do love some wheel-to-wheel race. I do love some wheel-to-wheel racing. But sometimes, you know, it can just be a little bit too scary for me. You know, you see it. They do it for 2 corners and all of a sudden one of them's upside down, hanging like a cow. I quote Nico Hulkenberg there. Andy still in 7th. Jason in 8th. He's done well for himself this race. You know, still not on the podium. Don't think he ever will be. But up the Jers. Cam in 9th. King Dickhead in 10th. He won't be finishing 10th. Only person on the grid. As a matter of fact, I want to touch up on that. There has only been one person who has received penalties this race. Please bin it. Oh, no. He just about saves it. There's only been one person who has had penalties this race, and whoever then it to be, then King Joel. Please bin it. Bin it. No. He didn't DNF. Anyway, gutted. Anyway, who cares? Ben Taylor in 11th is the Williams teammate. Causing all sorts of chaos there. I have no clue what is going on with King Dickhead. Jack in 12th. He was in the points, but I've no clue what's happened. As Cam's had to go into the pits. I'm not quite sure why. Maybe going for the fastest lap of the race. Perhaps he has the time to do it. Put on a set of hards and then go for it. As Delirious is overtaking JD now at the end of the Kemmel Straight. Drake's getting even closer. There's 3 laps between these boys. Their back ends are flashing. All 3 of them running out of ERS as we speak. But Grimes, what has happened to Grimes? I've missed this. It is currently an Alpine 1-2. Danny is in first. Grimes has dropped to third for some reason. He is 3 seconds behind Scott. Scott's in second. But Danny has retaken the lead of this race. Why is it the 1 second I start showing people further down the grid, all the action at the top happens every single time? Well, we're coming up towards the end of lap 19. We're going to have 3 laps left. Danny's clear by 3 seconds. I'm baffled. I really am. I am baffled. Grimes in third. Has he got damage? Maybe he just lost it. Perhaps on the exit of P1. Perhaps that might have been there. Who knows? But yeah, Delirious in 4th, JD in 5th, with Drake's hunting the pair of them down. I will be amazed if both of these Ferraris can defend all the way till the end of the race. I will be amazed. There we go. Exit of La Source. Coming up to Eau Rouge. I absolutely love this corner. Such an amazing corner. If you do it perfectly, it's so rewarding. Through ready on now to the Kemmel Straight. JD also has DRS. Everybody's flicking like a Christmas tree. JD going for the overtake there, side by side with Delirious. Drake's maybe thinking about going around the outside, isn't able to. There's a little bit of contact between the two Ferraris, which forces Delirious wide and allows Drake to get up the inside of Delirious. But unfortunately, Delirious taps the front end of Drake's as everybody's setting up the timesheets with the fastest lap there. We'll have to have a little bit more of an in-depth analysis after the race there. That is very unfortunate there for Drake, because honestly, I fancied him to overtake both of the Ferraris. I do think it was more of a racing incident, but even still, we will look at it after the race. Who knows? But yeah, very unfortunate for Drake's there. He was on a very good comeback drive there. But, well, the pressure between the two Ferraris has certainly cleared off for a while now. We've still got Grimes in third. Like I said, I'm really not sure what's happened. Recently, Grimes, for the first time a couple of races ago, he took the championship lead, and then he had a poor... what race was before Hungary? I think it was Austria. He had poor Austria. No, he didn't. He won Austria. What am I talking about? It was one of the races. I don't know. I can't remember. But yeah, basically, and then Danny gained like a 15-point lead in the championship, and then just then he also finished third. Last time out was Danny took the race win, and now yet again he's made another little mistake, and he's going to lose out another 10 points to Danny. If obviously it stays the way as it is, we still have Danny in first, halfway through the middle sector now, on the approach towards No Name Corner, which is rather weird because its name is No Name, but No Name is its name, so it has a name. So the No Name Corner has a name which is called No Name, but it's not a corner which has a name. Figure that one out. Tongue twister. Anyway, 3-2 Danny goes now. I always hate saying it. It doesn't sound right. Scott in second. It is looking to be an Alpine 1-2. This is brilliant for the constructors for them if it does stay the same way as it is, as Scott is pressuring the throttle a bit too much there. In second. Grimes in third. Very unfortunate for him. He's not going to be happy. It's like I said just earlier on as well. I was really confused as to what happened. When you see it in a flash, you don't really think. You can't think straight as Drake's just has to let off the throttle there as well. Very unfortunate for him as well. You just think he could have overtaken both of the Ferraris there. Bit of a racing incident, potentially a little bit of dirty driving. I don't know. Like I said, I have to go back and watch it once more just to get a proper look at it instead of whilst it's live in the flesh. But sometimes these things aren't to happen. It is racing. As we're on the final lap of the race. Currently, Danny in P1. 2.5 seconds up the road from Scott. Followed by Grimes, JD Corsi, XI Delirious, then Drake's, the other Mercedes there. It has not been the greatest day for the Mercedes. I'm sure there's going to be plenty of steward submissions. Andy Gatehouse in 7th. Jason Davies 8th. Redemption Man. Ben Taylor up into 9th. Very nice for him. With Cam just behind him. They all pitted for softs and fancied maybe an attempt at the fastest lap. Jack FC in 11th, who currently has the fastest lap, I do believe. Dickhead King in 12th. Young Demon in 13th. And then Bames. It has just gone all wrong for him the entire race. He is in 14th down a lap. But anyway, I don't think there's going to be any more overtakes this race unless someone bins it, which I wouldn't put it past anybody on this grid. But from start to finish, it was pretty much Danny's race. He went back and forth with Grimes halfway through. Like I was saying, during the, just the middle stint where the DRS was, just exchanging positions on the Kemmel Straight. But to no avail, it didn't matter. As we're going to go through the final bus stop chicane, as Danny 1499 is going to come and take the checkered flag for the Belgian Grand Prix. It's going to be an Alpine 1-2. Maximum points for Alpine there. A very unfortunate finish for Grimes. He's going to style it out going across the line to finish in third. Those penalties are still going to be applied, but they won't make a difference on the race. It is going to be At the moment in time, a 4-5 for the Ferraris. Delirious might be getting questioned after the race. We will see. Drake crosses the line in 6th with 3 wheels. As you can see, the Mercedes having a brilliant time there. There's Andy Gatehouse also going through backwards in 7th there. Jason finishes 8th. He picked up 4 points there, gained 8 positions from the start. Cam Dog in 9th. Ben Taylor 10th. As they're coming through the final chicane to pick up the final points of the race. Let's have a look. They will do it as well. No more bottling for them at least. Jack coming home in 11th. We still got young Demon King, who's yet to cross the line. They're just minding their business now. King Dickhead comes home in 13th. And then the last of the runners. We had 3 DNFs today, both of the Haas's and Nico. As Bames at the end gets a penalty for his troubles. Finishes the line. The last person to take the checkered flag. But that is it. What a race. What a race from start to finish. I don't know what happened in the middle sector for Grimes there. I think I do want to maybe say it was Puan where he might have spun it. And then obviously both of the Alpines do get in front of him. Jason with the driver of the day. An Alpine 1-2. Danny is going to extend his championship lead now to 37 points. That's a race and a half there. Scott yet again finishing in 2nd once more. Grimes in 3rd, taking the final spot of the podium. Let's just look a little bit further down the order. Like I was saying, I'm sure I'm going to be seeing a few steward submissions after this one. So yeah, there we have it. Danny with the race win. Scott in 2nd, his teammate. Grimes in 3rd. Those penalties won't have affected anybody in the end anyway. JD 4th. Delirious in 5th. We might be having a look at the steward submissions later on. We'll see what happens there. To me, it looked a little bit like a racing incident, but you never know. We'll have to look at it properly. Ace Drakes in 6th. Very good comeback drive, but, it just wasn't to be at the end there. These things do happen. Andy Gatehouse in 7th. Great drive there from him. But ultimately, big shout out to the redemption, man. If anything, this was his biggest redemption. Finishing in 8th after starting in 16th. Cam Dog, he finished where he started. Ever the consistent man. Ben Taylor picking up his first point of the season. Very nice for him. Jack did get the fastest lap, but it finished 11th, so it won't actually make a difference for him. Demon King in 12th. That bloke in 13th. Bames in 14th. He was just, he just had a great, not a great race at all. It went from bad to woeful. It is what happens. It is what it is. Jake Pig in 15th. Alfie in 16th. Very unfortunate for him. DNF'd early on. Same with Nico. I thought it was going to cause a safety car, Nico DNFing, but it didn't. But never mind. It is what it is. It's what happens. But thank you all so much for watching. I'll be back next week where we are off to Monza. But until then, that's all from me. That's all from the drivers. And peace!